Luka Doncic just dropped some crazy points against the Golden State Warriors. The only players to achieve these stats other than Luka were Michael Jordan in 1989 and Nikola Jokic in 2022. So, Luka was already among the all-time greats. But recently, something was totally off about Luka. What's going on with him? Luka Doncic started the season a little off, but now he's back in rhythm, and that helped the Mavericks to go 8-2 over their last 10 games. At this time, Dallas had the best offensive rating in the league, putting up 124 points per game, which is insane. And Luka Doncic played an incredible role behind these scores. Okay, now let's talk about Luka. He had a rough start, mostly recovering from a previous wrist injury. So after recovery, Luka was a bit out of place. Struggling with poor shooting splits of 42% from the field, 32% from threes, and 79% from the free throw line. His poor scores weren't the problem. It was his inconsistency at the beginning of the season that's worth noticing. This inconsistency was seen through the Mavericks as a whole. But here's something interesting. When Luka sat out for a brief period of time due to his wrist injury, surprisingly, that's when Dallas started winning. Like what? Well, firstly, they secured 2 major wins against the Denver Nuggets and OKC Thunder. This proved that they could handle business even without their star player. Other teammates like Kyrie Irving and PJ Washington stood their own ground and helped the Mavericks to many crucial wins. Now, these wins highlight something very important, which is that for Dallas to reach their full potential, Luka needed to readjust his overall play style, like play at a faster pace, take smarter shots, and move the ball more. Upon his return, Luka improved his numbers significantly, now averaging 30.8 points, 10.7 rebounds, and 9.3 assists with better shooting splits to 53%. From the field, 42% on 3 three-pointers and 73% from the free throw line. This surge has been driven by Luka's return to form and Jason Kidd's implementation of a faster offensive system. Collectively, the Mavericks have been on a hot streak when it comes to offense. Last season, Jason Kidd wanted to shake things up by changing their offensive system to test the team to see if they could handle some changes. At first, it looked good, but after Luka's return with the injury, they were unable to run as much, which made them ineffective. The Mavericks are now ranked 10th in pace, a significant leap from last season when they were the second slowest team. This faster pace involves early shot clock usage and ball movement, allowing them to take more shots and create high percentage opportunities. Time is of the essence here in this game, so every second saved is another opportunity for one more shot. Because of their offensive system with Luka and Kyrie Irving, Jason Kidd knew exactly how they needed to play, and that was with a faster pacing, and that's exactly what they've done this season. Kyrie Irving averaged 23.9 points on near 50-40-90 shooting splits, providing the Mavericks with a reliable second scoring option and elevating their offense. Kyrie's amazing skill set is also letting players like PJ Washington, Klay Thompson, and others have their moments on the court too. This system makes Dallas exceptionally difficult to guard. So now they're currently the best in the world when it comes to offense. But that leaves fans wanting more defense. While Dallas ranks 11th in defensive efficiency overall, which is good, their defense has slipped during the 8-2 stretch, dropping to 26th worst rating in the NBA, which is horrible, but because of the fact that they're absolutely killing it offensively, they've been able to win these games. Dallas versus the Golden States, for example. Defensive consistency will be crucial for their championship aspirations. If we analyze their game against the Golden State Warriors, we can see that even though they had a dominant win, they still gave the Warriors many chances to win the game themselves. I mean, it's hilarious if you think about it. 4 Warriors were able to score more than 20 points, one of them being Draymond Green. Even if most of it went in the Warriors' favor, it was still a headbutting match. The Mavericks dominated the Golden State Warriors, scoring 143 points against the league's 4th best defense. Despite defensive lapses, Luka's 45-point triple-double led them to a decisive win. When Luka was out due to his wrist injury, it seemed like Dallas found their groove. So the big question was if they would stay as good if he came back. For the most part, this season answered a lot of questions. With the fast-paced system, Dallas has been able to score more points with Luka still being an MVP. All things considered, they are in good enough shape to compete against big teams. However, their defense struggled against top teams like the OKC Thunder, exposing vulnerabilities. With their incredible defense, Thunders held Luka to an inefficient 16 points on just 5 of 15 shooting. The fans pointed out that Dallas lost to the Thunders because they were missing the Thunder killer PJ Washington. Well, that ain't entirely true. But when it comes to PJ Washington and the Mavericks' success, it links up pretty well. He has been a critical piece for Dallas, especially on defense and offensively spacing the floor. The team is 1-5 without him, underlining his value. Offensively, he stretches the floor and facilitates dynamic offensive sets, allowing Luka and Kyrie to play off the ball. Defensively, he fills gaps left by Derrick Jones Jr.'s departure, guarding both perimeter players and post threats effectively. But personally, it's his offensive versatility that stands out the most, as he's able to get into the lane using his highly underrated handles, where he can score in various ways. The Mavericks' offensive sets now frequently involve PJ Washington in pick-and-roll scenarios with Dwight Lively or Gafford, creating scoring opportunities in the paint or leaving shooters like Luka, Kyrie, and Klay Thompson with space to operate. It makes the offense so dynamic. Could Dallas still contend for a championship without PJ Washington? Yes, sure, why not? But it would be a tougher task without him, to be honest. All of the numbers suggest that the Mavericks are positioned as one of the top contenders in the Western Conference, behind teams like OKC. When we look at all the requirements for a modern championship team, the Mavericks tick all the boxes. They have the ability to perform at the top 10 level on both sides of the ball if their defense gets better as the season goes on. On the offensive side of things, they are evolving into a team that's simply unguardable. With PJ Washington at the forefront of the offensive side, shooters like Luka Doncic get a boost at spacing out the floor more efficiently. With Luka returning to MVP form and Kyrie performing at an elite level, they are a force to be reckoned with. With multiple proven scorers and one of the best three-point shooters in NBA history, this team is not easy to beat without suffering huge consequences. However, their title hopes depend on sustaining their offensive efficiency while addressing defensive weaknesses. One can't ride a bicycle with just one wheel. You need both. Similarly, Dallas needs to keep on improving both their offensive side and, most importantly, their defensive side. And Luka Doncic specifically needs to stay in the best headspace as much as possible. Only then, the Mavericks will remain an undefeated team to the end. What are your thoughts on Luka Doncic's current situation? Also, how good do you think Dallas is amongst their competition out in the Western Conference? Let us know in the comments below. Did you know that Tyrese Halliburton was once the talk of the NBA? But now people are calling him all kinds of things, such as slump and one-hit wonder. Check out this video to find out exactly what happened.